Morning peeps, Liesl here, how you doing? So part 3 of the cigar box fiddle build. I'm going to show you how we do the neck. Now I've created a blank, as you can see, and as you've seen I've filed the sides down, keeping this quite basic really, nothing fancy. Today I'm going to show you how to stain the wood. I use all scrap wood as much as I can, you know. I totally believe in like recycling to make these lovely instruments. So here goes anyway. Stick the kettle on, get yourself a cup of tea, you're going to enjoy this. So I have here a cup of tea. Unusual, I know. But it's the tea bag we want, because it makes the best wood stain in the world. No nasty chemicals. So basically, this has been sat in the glass for about an hour, so it's not hot now. And you just strim it along the wood like that. Just in one sweeping motion, taking it one way. This piece of wood was thrown out behind my apartment actually. I think it's the sort of thing they use for packing fridges or white goods, you know, when they're delivered. You can see there's marks on the back. I like to leave those. It kind of shows the homespun nature of these things. So basically tea, the tannin in the tea brings out the grain of the wood, especially if you're using pale coloured wood, like pine or something like that. I'm going to use this extra piece of wood here to make the fingerboard. I think this is a piece of cupboard trim. There's a hardware shop down the road, and if you make a donation to their charity you can take the scrap wood. So that's a nice way of doing it, you know. As I say, all recycled as far as possible anyway. I try to use hand tools as well. You know, the idea of these is to try and sort of stick by how these guys would have made them back in the day, in the 1920s and 30s, when they didn't have a lot of power tools and stuff. I'm quite into the history of these things. So that will basically fit on the front. I'm trying to find a way to raise it to make it a bit more like a violin neck. I must admit this is probably the smallest little neck I've ever worked on. All good fun. I'm going to use a standard tuner for this because I don't really fancy my chances at making friction pegs just yet, as you'd find on a normal fiddle. So there it is really. Once it dries you will see the grain come through, and then I'll show you the various ways in which I make stains. I want to try and stain this one a bit darker to match the box. I oiled the box since it was so dry. Just used olive oil on this, and linseed oil is really good, but I'm allergic to that, so I don't tend to use it very often. I have to wear all kinds of gloves and stuff. Olive oil does a lovely job inside. It's giving it a lovely tone. The wood seems a bit more solid now, a little bit more stable. Just drilled a couple of holes in there and a couple of little recesses. I'm going to screw that into the support there, and then we will add the fingerboard on the top. So cheers. There we go, happy days. I'll let you know how we get on. Okay, if you've made it to the end, as ever, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay then, bye for now then folks. Goodbye.